Hello everyone, Laura Talks is back. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and press the bell button. So last video I talked about Year 1, the National Maths Curriculum, and how you can test your child and what your child should know. The basics is not all curriculum which I covered. And today again, we're going to talk about Year 2. Again, I'm going to go through fundamental concepts which are most important for your child to know. And there is other things they have to know, but I've just kind of focused more on a number. So if you want more information, you can go Gov UK website and check all that information in there. So let's start with place value. So in Year 2, the children need to learn to count in 2s, 3s and 5s from 0 in a step. So you can use the number lines or 100 squares and things like that. And also in tens. So in tens, they can count from any number forwards and backwards. For example, you have 53, would be 63, 73, or you count backwards, 99, 89, 79, and kind of in a game in different voices. Recognize the place value of each digit in two-digit number. So you need to know what is a tens and what is a ones. And you like put them in tens and ones and separating 20 plus 1 is 21. Now also it's really important to order the numbers. So if you have scattered random numbers to 100 and they put them in order from the smallest to the biggest, or biggest to the smallest, or they choose two numbers and they use those little signs which they see grey, so is greater than or less than or equal signs. And read and write numbers at least to 100 in numerals. So if you ask them to write the number 56 and they are able to write it, or you ask them to point to the number as well. So it's really important, all these little things. So next, addition and subtraction. To solve problems with addition and subtraction. So it's a simple worded problems. They're not going to be tricky ones. And it's something like my friend had 50 marbles, another friend had 48 marbles. How many marbles altogether? So they're able to solve this type of and understand when you need to subtract or take away. Now, need to know the addition facts to 20 fluently. So, for example, how we talked about number ones is the same to 20. So you will know like 18 plus 2 is 20, 13 plus 7 is 20, things like that. So you need to know them and do it basically mentally and using your fingers or count on and count back things. Add and subtract numbers using concrete objects. So basically, you can use place value things on things like that. So if you add a bigger numbers, you can have counters which represent tens, which represents ones, and you put tens together, ones together, and adding all the total, or you have little other objects to add. Pictorial representations and mentally also including. So pictorials, so you can write it down and do a number line, adding the numbers. So I just quickly will show you one example. So if I have 43 plus 25, you can use a number line. So you have 43, I'm adding 20 first, which is going to be 63, and I will add 5 then, and it will be 68. But that requires a certain knowledge for your child. So if your child is comfortable to do that, you can move to that stage where it's actually splitting, and that's where your place value comes in. A two-digit number and one-digit number. So you basically, that's an example, 23 plus 1 and 45 take away 1. So it's basically counting 1 backwards or forwards. So we can use that strategy. Two-digit numbers and tens. So basically, like when you learn to count tone and tens from any number, that should be easy to take away then. Two-digit numbers where you can use a number line. Yeah, that's a method. Or you can use a place value to solve it. Some schools teach a color method. It depends from actually the school and what strategies they use in that school. So you might be able to teach that as well your child. And adding 3 one-digit numbers. So what this type of thing, you'd like try to help them to think 3 and 7 makes 10. So use number bonds and then you add 4. Straight away 14. So you kind of teach them little strategies in there. Let's go to the next bit, what we get, multiplication and division. So again, in Year 2, they really need to know how to count 2s, 5s and 10s really well. And then they learn how to count. They can use fingers to count on and solve times tables questions, or they can still use arrays and things like that, as I showed you in a previous video. but their counting in 2s, 5s, and 10s needs to be solid to be able to solve those questions. And also problems about the multiplication and division using materials, arrays. And so the repeated addition, mental methods, and multiplication and division facts. So you want your child to understand that 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is the same as little circles like that, and which means 2 times 4. Yeah, so it's different representation of the same times tables. And at the same time, you can make little arrays without any circles to represent that. Yeah, so that would be your representation in different ways, and the child understands how to do that. And the another fraction. So recognize and find, name and write fractions. So to recognize, so they know it is 1/3, they know it's 1/4, they know it's a half and 3/4. So basically, if they will be looking at the shapes, for example, and one part is shaded, and they will know what to write underneath that shape, that this is 1/2, and things like that. And now quantity of objects, that's another. So basically, write simple fractions, for example, half of those 6. So they will know. So if you need to do half of 6, what it means, I draw 2 little circles and I'm sharing my 6. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the top number says 1. How many in one circle? 3, that's my answer. So that's kind of the understanding they can be using to solve those questions. And that's it for your 2 national curriculum. So again, I'm just going to stress it out right at the end. I didn't kind of touch the measure or shape or statistics in there, because I kind of focus more on a number because it's most vital in learning for your child. So if they know those basic concepts in year 2, so you know your child is heading the right way and they have a good understanding for maths, and then you add on other little bits in there. So, but number is the most valuable and most important part, because that's where you will start solving problems. If you don't know how to add, you won't be able to solve reasoning questions. If you don't know how to count in 2s, you won't be able to do times tables. So it's like always little basic concepts to building up. So check your child, play little games, see where are the gaps. You can teach yourself if you homeschool. If you're asking somebody to help, it's fine, but at least you know where your child is. And then you can talk to your teacher where your child's weaknesses and strengths are as well. So have a good day and talk to you next time. Bye-bye.